Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Marielle Imperfectly. It's been a minute. I haven't been recording for a while. There's a reason for that. If you know, you know. But today's a very special day. Today is 10/20. I don't know when this is gonna go live, but today is 10/20. If you are a part of my tribe, a part of my village, you know 10/20 is the day my entire life changed when I was 19 years old. 10/20/2000 is the day my first son was born. Today's his birthday. He is 22, so I have to give a shout out to him, even though this is probably gonna air later. I just want to give a shout out to my son, Jordan. The love of my life, my first love, my introduction to what being a mother was like, to loving unconditionally was like. Oh man, I could go on and on, but this is not gonna be that. I'm a thug. I'm not gonna get on here and cry on camera. So happy 22nd birthday to my son, to the love of my life. I do have two loves in my life, but he was the first one. So I just want to say happy birthday to Jordan. Now, this video is going to be another story time. So we're up to date with how I came in the US, how I lived undocumented, how I got picked up the day I got picked up, how detention was, and now we're gonna talk about removal day. There's a better term for that, but I'm not gonna use it because I don't like that word. It starts with a D, if you know, you know. How the process of removal. So how I went from living in the US through detention and then actually being shipped off to another country. So as you guys know, I was born in Haiti. So when they remove you, it doesn't matter what country you have been through, whatever, you're going back to your native land. So removal went a little something like this. So after 10 months of detention, what happens is they give you, even though they pick you up and the process is to fight for your life and fight for your freedom and prove that you deserve to be in America, they do give you the right to seek counsel, to fight if you do have a defense, which is called a relief in immigration term, meaning a reason why they should let you stay. They do give you the opportunity to prove that. And so I was doing that within 10 months and I couldn't prove it. Everything that I had, which it's a story time that I would love to get into, but I'm gonna have to check with my lawyer. I don't know that I can get into all the different things that we tried to do and failed, and my circumstances were just so complicated. I don't know that I'll ever be able to get on camera and tell the world about, you know, what all happened. But we did have an opportunity to fight, and we fought. Man, we fought. We tried everything, and to no avail. We did end up getting to a crossroad of me having to make a decision that would not be, it just wouldn't be right for a lot of people involved. And so where I may have had a chance to stay myself, it just wouldn't have been right, if you get what I'm saying. So anyway, so it came to the point where my lawyer and I, we sat across from each other, and she was like, it's time. If that can't be and this can't be, then you have to go ahead and, you know. And so once I spoke to my family and I came and I had a come to Jesus moment, listen, oh boy, we prayed. And then I was like, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. At this point, I had been incarcerated for 10 months. I was over it. So it was time for me to go. So what happens is you let your lawyer know, and your lawyer pretty much does all that stuff. And backtrack, for getting a lawyer, you do have people who pay good money for a lawyer. And this is such a sad part of detention and the whole immigration process. I've seen women or men, period, people that are incarcerated, spend their last. Their husbands put up their house, their wives put up everything. If they had stores, they sell everything to obtain a lawyer. And this lawyer would take everything from them. And the day of court or the day they need to, you know, present, the lawyer doesn't show up. And then they block the family, and the family can't get a hold of them. So the lawyers will take the money. This is a very vulnerable time in somebody's life. And a lot of lawyers will just, I mean, I see women crying all the time in the dorms because their family can't get a hold of their lawyers. I was blessed enough to, when I first got there, everybody was like, you need to get a hold of these group of lawyers. They're pro bono. They're free. I don't know if pro bono means like they get paid after, but these lawyers were free. Brooklyn Defenders, and they literally came to my very first hearing, and they were like, we want to represent you. And I was like, sure. So I want to drop her name so bad, but she was an angel. Came in, sat down with me, and we fought the good fight for 10 months together. I mean, this woman was so involved, and she was just, Anywho, so we never had to pay her a dime, and she provided all the I mean, she went above and beyond. Like I said, I can't get into everything that we had to do, but she worked. And you know, we fought and fought and fought, and at the end of the day, your lawyer signs and says, listen, we're gonna agree to this removal. And in our last hearing, we stand in front of the judge and the prosecutor, and we say, you know what, we agree. The prosecutor reads off the fact that, you know, you can't come back. You know, if you come back, these are the consequences, at least for X amount of time. I think there is 5 years or 10 years that you're barred from coming to the U.S. She just reads all these rules that, you know, you already know. And so after that, you go back to your dorm, and you pretty much like, it's time for you to like just get your affairs in order. So now I'm making calls to my family, friends, letting them know like, listen, this is what's getting ready to happen. Family back home is setting up my pickup when I get to Haiti. Where am I gonna stay? Because remember, my entire family immediate is in the US. So now I have people, because I don't know anybody in Haiti. So now I have my aunt who's calling people that she knows to receive me, to go pick me up. I mean, it's such a thing. And so and also you have to like set up for your family to send you like a suitcase of some sort, because you're literally picked up with the clothes on your back, and you will be shipped off that way if your family doesn't meet up with your lawyer and give a carry-on. Because it can't even be, imagine 30 years of living somewhere reduced to a carry-on, because that's all they will allow you to go down with. I mean, of course, later on you can get stuff brought to you once you're out of the system, but that particular day getting shipped off, I had on a Victoria's Secrets sweatsuit when I got picked up on 10 months prior with UGG boots, and I was getting ready to get shipped off to a Caribbean island in UGG boots. So yeah, so we agreed that this was what it was going to be, getting my affairs in order, calling credit cards, emptying out 401ks, like everything you could think of that is like coming to an abrupt stop. You need to just make sure that you're doing all these things, life insurance if you have, just everything you could imagine. And within a week or so, I was lucky enough because they only remove certain countries certain number of times a month, and I think Haiti and Jamaica were twice a month. And I happened to meet the deadline, because once I decided I was gonna go, I was ready to go. I was like, get me out as soon as possible. And so we went ahead and found out when the next flight was going. Now, you don't get removed. I was housed in Hudson, New Jersey, because I was living in New York. I guess the like central immigration center is in Louisiana. And so you have to be shipped off to Louisiana. No matter what state you picked up, even if it's Texas, Florida, they ship you off to Louisiana, and then from Louisiana, you get to go to your country. And so it was like a 2-stop process. So once we decided I was gonna leave, there was a matter of getting me on the right flight. So luckily I had a passport, because if you don't have a passport, they have to create a travel document for you. That prolongs the process. I had just gotten my passport. So I had my passport, it was ready to go. I had my family drop it off to my lawyer. She got in contact with the people, and I don't know what they call the deportation officer, I'm not sure. And then, so they arranged for me to get on the next flight, which was maybe a week out. So that week within the dorm, you say your goodbyes, your favorite officers. So yeah, of course, y'all knew I had to look up Miss Jones, and I did not see Miss Jones. I didn't get to say goodbye to Miss Jones. I didn't get to see goodbye. I was so upset about that. I looked for her, I asked everybody for her, but it's not like you're free to roam. Like, you just have to, can you please, like, I wanted to leave her a note, but that's frowned upon. So I didn't get to say bye to Miss Jones. But basically, like, say goodbye to your friends that you've made over the months and years for some people. Get rid of things, because over the time you accumulate things, whether it's extra uniforms, if you had groceries, like if you had just bought stuff from commissary, you weren't gonna be able to leave with any of it. So you had your favorite people, you had your friends in there. So the night before, I remember passing out all my stuff, little bowls and spoons and stupid stuff that you accumulate but meant the world to you at the time you were in there. So you had to get rid of all that. Sheets, extra bedding, just everything, because you couldn't leave with anything but I think your uniform, because once you got downstairs, they would then give you the clothes you came in on. So uniforms, socks, I mean even brassieres, they gave you like everything. You got rid of everything, said your goodbyes, and they pick you up around 2 a.m. So typically, you know when you're getting picked up. Like, it's pretty set in stone. Rarely do people get picked up and it's like unknowing, but for the most part, you know when you're getting picked up. In my case, I knew when I was getting picked up, so I was ready. I was so ready. I got picked up 2 a.m., said goodbye, the long hugs, the tears, because no matter how bad detention was, you were there for upwards of a year, 2 years. I know a girl who's been in there for 5 years. So you create this little family in there. So leaving was, you couldn't wait to leave, but you was gonna miss some of these people. And so I said goodbye, and we headed downstairs. So roaming the halls where, where you went to medical, where if you worked in the kitchen, it's like these emotions. You're like, I know I shouldn't be sad that I'm leaving this place, but for some reason there's a little bit of sadness over you, but you get over that real quick, child. So anyway, you get down to the processing center and they lock you back up, because of course that's what they do. So they put you back in a cell. It was me and another Mexican girl. Shout out to my Mexican boo. It was the two of us getting shipped off that day. We get to the cell, and they are now processing you back out. So whatever you came in with, your cell phone, your clothes, your shoes, your purse, they're supposed to bring it to you. They tried to play me. At the time, I had an iPhone 8 Plus. They tried to play me and told me they couldn't find my iPhone. I was like, oh, but y'all will find my iPhone. And so it was a bit of a back and forth. The officers, of course, are very rude. They feel like you don't have no, like, you're getting deported. You're getting, like, they treat you like crap. And so I was like, you're getting my iPhone, or my lawyer will be here first thing in the morning. And so time, like a little bit of time went by. They found my phone. The girl, my Mexican friend, let's call her B. B ended up not finding her purse, not finding her clothes. They had to, because she had been there longer than me, like a year and a half. So they misplaced her stuff. So she left with the sweatsuits that, it was bad. But she couldn't wait to leave. So she was just like, whatever. And so they shackle you back up. My favorite part, they shackle you back up. Chains. And they put you in a paddy wagon or a little bus, whatever. Now, it's 2 a.m. You go to, so Hudson County, where I was housed in New Jersey, they have two other jails. There's Bergen County and another place. And so I think they picked us up first, and then they had to go over there and pick up whoever was leaving, and then to the other place to pick up whoever. And so they picked up all those people, and then they headed us back to New York. Now, if y'all remember my video of the day I got picked up and how I had to go through the processing center that is in Manhattan called Federal Plaza, that's the process in and out building. And so when you're leaving, they have to process you back out. And so they take us to this building where we're back in the same, metal benches and the same, cold cells, where you wait for them to do your medical check, make sure everything is okay with you, do your paperwork. So the first piece of paper that they gave you that said you were getting ready to be fighting XYZ, I guess that same paper, they're like, she lost, she's going home. So they give you back that paper. And yeah, so now we're heading to New Orleans, which is where the process begins. So, and this flight isn't until like, oh my God, like maybe 11, 12 o'clock in the day, but they wake you up so early. There's a whole lot of waiting. You're sitting around, bologna sandwiches after bologna sandwiches after bologna sandwiches. I am bologna out. So you're sitting there, they make you restless. But again, once you're in custody, your time doesn't matter. So at some point we finally get on a flight, chained up. We get to New Orleans, get on a bus, drive 30 minutes. We get to the facility, go through another set of process, because now we got to be processed back into another jail. So everything I went through the very first day I got picked up, I'm going through again, because every time you're going through another correction facility, you're going through the whole medical. Who are you? What were your crimes? What did you do? Why are you getting kicked out? Like all of that stuff. So they get us there, they separate us based on the level of our crimes. You were either in orange suits, red suits, or yellow suits. They base you based on that, and then they house you somewhere else where you're now waiting for the actual day. So I think I was there for about 3 days. New Orleans is a little bit more chill. The food was better. We had a cook, child. We had a country southern lady. I had peach cobbler in there. I mean, this lady, like, she would cook, and we were like sitting down eating, and she'd come around and ask us, how is it? I said, am I a Red Lobster? What's going, like, it was so different than just the slop that they would give you in Hudson County. I actually was like, if I did my entire 10 months here, I may have been like compelled to fight a little longer. It was so chill in New Orleans. But I guess they kind of like, I guess I compare it to like a hospice. When they know you're getting ready to die, they tell your family, go ahead and just let her have whatever. Because you was getting ready to go. So they didn't care. They fed you well. It was chill. Anywho, so after those 3 days, it was time to go. So went through the same process. You get processed out. They put you on a plane. Again, it takes all day, and they ship you off. You're again shackled within, I think the flight from New Orleans to Haiti is about 4 to 5 hours. they took the shackles off me as the plane was descending. Literally, I'm like, we're in the middle of the ocean, whichever it was, Atlantic, where there's like, really, they were like, nope, until we are near your home, we cannot de-shackle you. So I had chains on the entire time. I just remember being on this plane, and the plane that takes Haitians home is half Dominicans in the front and then Haitians in the back. And I just remember, no, I'm sorry, vice versa. Haitians in the front, Dominicans in the back. So they drop Haitians off first, and then they go over next door and drop off Dominicans. The plane was full. And I remember seeing a little kid, little boy, snot nose, just sad. And he had to be 2, maybe 3. And I remember just looking at him and just being so overwhelmed with gratefulness and just, thank you, God, that my children will never have to see this. Like, I'll take it, I'm a big girl, but this poor baby. And I remember asking the woman who was in charge, just going around making sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to be doing. And she happened to look Latina. So, you know me, I'm a talk. I said, hey, how you doing? Can I talk to you? I mean, we're in the plane, you ain't got nothing else to do. And she's like, sure. And she's like, your English is good. I'm like, she's like, you speak good English. I'm like, yes, I lived here for 30 years. And so we get to talking, and I was just like, I'm just curious about a baby like this. What's the procedure? Like, why isn't there like some sort of humanitarian situation where this little baby has to go back to? And I just remember her saying, listen, she was Dominican, by the way, born and raised in the Dominican Republic. And I remember her saying, you know, my abuela gave me the okay for me to do this job. So I don't feel any guilt. When people try to guilt trip me, I don't feel any guilt. When the mother made the decision to cross the border illegally, she put her child at risk. When we're talking about family separation, because as you say that your kids are left behind, you put your kids at risk when you decided to either break the law or live in this country illegally. We didn't do this. My mother, when she decided, and this is true story, y'all, my mother, when she decided to take my brother and leave me back home, she is the one that separated her family, not the immigration system. I need people to take accountability. This is what it is. If you break the law, you come in this country illegally, you need to be ready for whatever comes. And if that means family separation, so be it. I said, okay, thank you so much. You can go now. So that was that conversation. And then I just remembered the plane descending, and that's when she finally was like, okay, you know, I think I was like first, like, I guess I was first class, because I was the first one in the front of the plane. But she basically was like, you know, she unshackled me, and the officers went around unshackling people. The only people they didn't shackle was this pregnant lady. She was like 9 months pregnant. Her and I had connected because she needed someone to translate for her. They caught her at the border, and they were trying to ship her off quickly so she wouldn't have the baby in the States. So her and I had connected. She was just sitting next to me, just bawling. So they didn't shackle her. But yeah, so they unshackled me, and then once the plane doors opened, the engine never got cut off. I think I joke and I said the plane never even touched the ground. They were like, all rise, and they got us right off. And I'll stop my story time here, but I will say this. As I walk into the front of the plane and I'm at the door getting ready to come out, I just remember seeing maybe 20 armed guards with their guns pointing at me. And these are the Haitian, I guess, armed people who receive people like myself who get sent off, or people who get caught crossing the border, and their guns were literally pointed at me because sometimes people that get shipped off act unruly, and so they needed to make sure that you weren't going to show your black, you know what, and so they were ready for you. So there were guns pointed at you as you're coming down. I am terrified. I am in full tears because the Haiti that I left 30 years ago is, I mean, from the plane, you could just see that this place looked like the forgotten land. It was just unlike any, like it was. So I was like this, but it's one thing, and I know I'll probably get some backlash for this. People go back to Haiti on vacation all the time. I have family members who go back to Haiti all the time. Going back to Haiti for a week is one thing, but getting sent off to Haiti knowing this is now your new life and that you are not allowed to get back on a plane to go back home is a whole nother thing. So when I was coming down off that plane and I noticed the Haiti looked like it never rained over there. It was just, and then the guns pointing at me. It's a whole nother ball game. So yeah, so that was removal day. So once I got off the plane, a whole nother process began, and I'll do another story time on that, but I'll stop this one here because I don't want to make my story times too long. So yeah, that was removal day. I'm pretty sure I forgot some details, but yeah, if you guys want to know more in detail what that was like, please drop that in the comments. If you know anybody who's been through this, whether they got sent off to another country, Jamaica, whatever, because it's all pretty much the same. They treat you the same. So yeah, let's have a conversation. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.